Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday morning, and we've been talking about the whole process of change this week. And, as we think about change, we've mentioned that oftentimes we're kind of resistant. We often fight change, and it's threatening to us. But, the reality is that sometimes change is absolutely necessary in life. I read recently that cemeteries are really the only place where there's no change. In fact, the only thing that changes in a cemetery is just the height of the grass. But change then is really an important aspect of life. And in many cases, it's an expression of life that is in process and developing. But let me get scientific on you for just a moment. Scary? Okay. What's that scary scientific stuff? No, it's not that scary. But let me tell you, the second law of thermodynamics, states that in a closed system, without an external force acting upon that system, all the changes tend in a negative direction and they move towards deterioration. Now, isn't that a joyful thought, So, believer, the fact is that God is the only force who can restrain that downward spiral, that giant flushing sound that you may be hearing in your life, that is really the sound of your life disintegrating and disappearing down that deep hole, swirling around. But the fact is that God changes that, and He can reverse the direction of life. And as God comes into our life, He applies His positive power, that power of His grace that halts the process of deterioration in our lives, and He redirects that whole aspect of change in a positive upward direction. So instead of the natural forces of change disintegrating, we see change moving in a positive direction. So therefore, without God at work in your life, change then will naturally tend in that negative direction. It's kind of like a boat that is on its own, and it's drifting towards the falls that are ahead of it. We'll call them Niagara Falls, just to make them more intimidating. But unless a force is applied to that boat, it's just going to drift over those falls and be destroyed in the process. And unless another force is applied, and that's where God comes in, as He adds a force that works against that current and that natural pull that is moving us closer and closer to the results of destruction in our lives. And one of the things that happens is the closer we come to the edge of those falls, change not only then is desirable, change becomes urgent. Something needs to be done immediately. There's a verse in Hebrews 9:27 that says, we are destined to die once, and after that, to face the judgment. Now, that means we got one shot at this, and we don't want to go over the falls. We want our life to move in a positive direction. And so, Christian, if you don't know Christ, you are lacking that positive force that can move life in the positive direction that you desire. So if you don't know Him, I would say to you, apply a force that will work against that second law of thermodynamics and will move your life in an upward direction, and change will become a positive thing in every aspect of your life. Something to chew on. Think about it today and have a good one. Bye-bye. God bless.